Okay, so add in the United States government, the British Parliament, parts of the Roman Republic, and boom, you get the Galactic Republic. The Galactic Republic pretty much carries all three of those types of government elements, such as the United States' legislative, executive, and judicial branches. The Roman Republic has their Senate, and has their own House of Representatives. And the British Parliament is the sole governing body of the country of Great Britain, and whereas the Senate is the governing body, pretty much, of the Galactic Senate, of the Galactic Republic, by the time around the near end game of the old days of the Old Republic era. But I digress. I wanted to talk about the Galactic Republic. I'm not going to go into extensive detail about it because that would take forever. And plus, there's already a user on YouTube named Galactic Jedi, whose link I will put in the description so you can check him out, who covered a two-part video of an extensive look into the Galactic Republic, such as their government and structure, and the history of the Galactic Republic and all the different eras in the Expanded Universe lore. But I'm going to go and say that I'm genuinely surprised. Like, a lot of its history kind of reminds me of the Roman Republic. Like, if you add in, like, the United States system of government, the British Parliament but add in all the corruption of the Galactic Senate of its late era, and history of the Roman Republic, you kind of get the Galactic Republic of Star Wars, because it had a huge rise. It existed for a long. It was pretty much the dominant government of its time. It was also having a lot of big wars. It expanded a lot and took over pretty much a lot of the galaxy for a time. And it had major wars. It had several big long periods of peace and eras, and their leader was always very powerful. Though by the time of the end game of the Republic era, it was pretty much like the Senate took control of the Republic and the Chancellor was a puppet figure. Sorry. Along with that, it has survived for over 1,000 generations of history against Sith, against confederacies, against rebellions, against insurgencies, against all this, and it lasted for 25,000 years. That is something. That is surprising. And it survived some of the deadliest wars in the known galaxy, and it took a coup d'etat to take it out. Yeah, and probably the Galactic Republic wish they did not go out like that. Like, if they wish, like, if the Galactic Republic had a choice, they probably would have went out in some epic battle between good and evil, not through quiet politicians sneaking in and overthrowing the government from within. In this case, the Sith Empire. But the Galactic Republic had a very rigid structure. It had bureaucracy. It had a judicial system, which they never really explored about. Like, they talk about it at times in the Star Wars Clone Wars series. They talk about it. They don't really show it. And the trials that we do see, which was pretty much only one, Ahsoka's trial, I'd rather not get into that, since I still hate that episode since Ahsoka left and that was the finale. My God, they should not have ended that show like that, on a depressing note. But I digress. But yeah, the Galactic Republic's history was so extensive, so rigid, and very complex that Galactic Jedi went ahead and gave a very detailed description of the government, the structure, and the overall history in a two-part video that are in total about 3 hours long. So you're going to be in there for the long haul when you check out his videos, but they're entertaining. Like, yeah, like, you'll get some knowledge out of this. You'll get knowledge about this, and if you're really disinterested in Star Wars lore like I am. But yeah, like, I could cover the Republic, but that would take forever and be very difficult, since I would have to really look into Star Wars lore and read a lot of the books again. I'd rather not. So I'm just throwing out the basics and giving a quick overview where the Republic survived 25,000 years of wars, conflicts, crises, economic downturns. They survived all of that, and it took a Sith coup d'etat to finally kill it. And especially how it transformed from being a republic into the Galactic Empire. It reminded me of when Octavius, Caesar's adopted son, when he crowned himself Augustus Caesar. It sort of reminded me of how Palpatine rose to power. Like, first he was a consul, a chancellor. In this case, Palpatine was a chancellor, and how he later took over. His was a coup d'état. Augustus Caesar had to use military force. And in this case, Palpatine used the corruption of the Senate and public image to get what he wanted, where Augustus Caesar had to take over and pretty much through military conquest, pretty much. I haven't really studied Roman history, so it's kind of been a while, so I'm a little iffy on the details. But they kind of have this similar outcome, how they both declared the end of the Republic and the declaration of the new empire. And to be honest, they kind of had a long history. Like, the empire lasted for at least 22 years, and the Roman Empire lasted for several centuries. So there's that. Well, everyone, this was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more. And lastly, this is going to be my last Star Wars video. I had promised initially of doing it every day, but I'm running low on Star Wars material, and I want to save the rest for December, as part of the 18th part of December video. But you'll still get the Star Wars movie thoughts during the whole weeks of Friday, starting November 13th. Thanks everyone for listening, and stay tuned for more.